This episode of the Third and Thirsty podcast, we're previewing Week 17. The Broncos are taking on the Chiefs on Christmas. The Chargers are taking on the Texans on Saturday. And then the Raiders and the Giants playing the Tank Bowl on Sunday. Let's get into it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome into the Third and Thirsty podcast. Your one-pot stop for Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, Kansas City referee, and Taylor Swift free AFC West banter. I'm Alex Bell, fan of the Denver Broncos, first place in the AFC West, first place in the American Football Conference. To my left, Omar Rubio, fan of the Chargers, second place in the AFC West, fifth place in the AFC. And then to my right, Ergalarios, fan of the Raiders, fourth place in the AFC West, last place in the American Football Conference. Absolute dog shit property franchise.
Hey, we're first place for the draft, all right?
First place for the draft.
There you go, Edgar. That's the spirit.
You gotta get that put respect on that. I'm just kidding.
Ready to go and ruin a young quarterback's career by drafting him. The Las Vegas Raiders. So,
Talking about Trevor Siemian?
why Trevor Siemian?
I don't know.
A better one would have been Paxton Lynch, but kind of missed on that one.
I forgot about him, and I even
Talk about
dropped.
Jamarcus Russell though. If you want to go number one picks,
No, he ruined himself.
so
I'm so glad I don't have to deal with any of that.
first round draft pick bust for quarterback. Yeah, I guess the Chargers don't have one. They, thankfully for the Chargers, they were able to hit on Herbert.
Herbert, Philip Rivers, Drew Brees. Ryan Leaf was not a good one.
No, yeah,
I
okay,
guess.
yeah, no,
There.
yeah, we forgot about Ryan Leaf.
There was like this much time where they had a bad quarterback.
Yeah, so we're all guilty of blowing it. First round draft pick for a quarterback. So week 17, season's almost over,
God.
and we only got a couple.
It's already
games
over
left here.
for one of the three teams here.
It's over for a lot of the NFL, but yeah, the Raiders were one of the first ones up
Yeah.
when it came to the season being over officially. The Broncos taking on the Chiefs Christmas night here in just a couple of days. And then the Chargers are taking on the Texans, a huge game on Saturday. And then, again, we have the Tankathon on Sunday with the Raiders and the Giants to see who's going to go and draft Mendoza. So let's get into we always go by schedule, and works out in our favor this week because the Broncos play Thursday and then the Chargers play on Saturday. So Broncos playing on Christmas, I hate that. Absolutely hate the Broncos playing on big holidays and ruining not only my holiday but my family's holiday. When the Broncos game starts, I'll be locked in, and Christmas will be over for the rest of my family.
Well, the rest of your family, your parents are Broncos fans, your brother, so I'm pretty sure everybody will be watching.
Yeah, well, they won't be watching with me. I'll be watching by myself, being a lunatic psycho, throwing shit at the TV.
You're going to go in the car and just, like, sit in there and lock the door.
Well, luckily, Christmas Day is only just me, my wife, and my daughter. So my wife and my daughter will be hiding in the bedroom while I watch in the living room screaming at the TV. We'll leave it at that. So, it's definitely a different game than I thought it would be at the beginning of the season. Had this one chalked up when we first started this podcast, when we were looking at the schedule, like, the Broncos should be in the playoff mix. The Chiefs obviously are going to be right up there with the number 1, 2, 3 seed ahead of the division. This might be a big game, big chance for the Broncos to be able to catch the Chiefs, or at least narrow it to where they could really make a play week 18. Obviously, it didn't work out that way. The Broncos are sitting in first place in the AFC West. The Chiefs have been eliminated for multiple weeks now. They just lost to one of the worst teams in the league in the Titans. Thank God for that. And Mahomes is not going to be playing, unfortunately. We don't wish injuries on anybody. And the Chiefs are actually going to be starting their third-string quarterback, which I had to look up his name again because someone I had never heard of until he got into the game last week. Chris, and I'm going to butcher the last name. I'm sorry, Chris. Chris Oladokin. Oladokin? Oladokin. Okay, well.
Okie dokie.
Okay, Chris Okidoki. So the Broncos obviously had a huge advantage there. Now the Chiefs obviously going to want to be playing spoiler against the Broncos at home. The Chiefs, I don't know if you guys saw this, they're actually leaving Missouri.
Yeah,
I did see that.
Going over into Kansas.
Yeah.
Taking the little jump over the state line there.
Yeah, they're leaving Arrowhead and going over to Kansas. So The fans, I don't know if they're going to be pissed off or if they're going to be excited to see their team after that news drops. Obviously, they're not going to be moving next season because they got to build a stadium.
Yeah, they got,
Mhm.
I think, about 5 years.
Yeah, they're going to be there
Was
for a
it?
while.
They said like 2030.
31. Yeah,
Which
so
is
5
I think-
years.
which is when the Broncos stadium is supposed to open as well. So the Chargers and the Raiders get a couple of new stadiums to play in that season.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
Yeah, I
all
saw
these new
some.
stadiums coming up for everybody. That's,
Yeah,
that's
you saw
exciting.
the renderings for the Denver one. And it looks nice.
Is the Denver one, sorry to get like so far off topic, but is the Denver one going to have a dome or is it going to be open?
I don't think there's any official renderings yet, so I don't know what you saw.
Oh,
Edgar,
then
but-
it must have been like
yeah, it was probably some AI fan art thing, but
yeah.
word is that they're going to want to do a retractable roof,
It only makes sense.
especially in Denver because you're battling weather. You want to be able to host a Super Bowl, so you
Yep.
don't want a Super Bowl when it's 20 degrees and snowing.
Mm-hmm. I think
So-
the Chiefs I saw is going to have a dome.
Yeah.
So
It makes sense.
Mhm.
It makes sense. And the Broncos will get to make that decision too when it comes time for it, whether or not we want to keep the roof open. So if they want the weather to be a part of the game, then they can. That'll be the nice thing about the retractable roof.
yeah,
When it comes to the Broncos game, we're a little off topic here. We're going a little off the beaten path, but
it's because the
all
Chiefs
good.
suck
It's- yeah.
so bad now.
yeah,
And we're all
it's-
so happy about that.
It's week 17, so but the Broncos, obviously, with the richest owners in sport, they'll be able to build a dope ass stadium, state of the art. It's going to be the best stadium in the league, so it'll be fun. It's going to be incredibly expensive, so I'm trying to get out to Empower Field a couple more times before that opens, and I could still afford tickets. But anyways, back to the game this week. You know, the Broncos are going to be going up against a pretty shitty offense. So this, I think I mentioned on the last episode, Broncos defense has really been falling off these last couple of weeks. They haven't been playing like they did at the beginning of the season. They had flashes of it against the Jaguars. The first couple of drives, they had them go 3 and out. It was really applying the pressure. And then they had that weird fluky roughing the passer penalty against PJ
yeah.
Locke. You saw that?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you have to throw a flag there, but still, it was just, I don't know. It was a weird play because they just couldn't hear the whistle, and PJ Locke laid him out.
Yeah.
But that's just how loud the stadium gets there in Denver. So they showed flashes, but ultimately they gave up 34 points to the Jaguars. You just can't do that. So they're going to get a chance to have a get-right game here against the Chiefs, see if they can limit them to, under 20 points. I definitely feel confident that they can, but the one advantage the Chiefs are going to have being out of the playoffs, playing for nothing, playing spoiler, is Andy Reid is going to be playing just with nothing to lose. So it'll be 4th and 4 at their own 45-yard line, and they're going to go for it. And they're going to pull out some trick plays. Now, I'm glad, obviously not happy that Mahomes got hurt, but if Mahomes was in there, then that trickery becomes a lot more real because you've seen Mahomes do that bullshit trickery plays throughout his entire career that just pisses us off as fans that are rooting against him. So him not being in there gives me a little bit more confidence that those trick plays aren't going to be as effective, but they're going to be there. And they're going to pull out all the stops that just piss off the Broncos and steal one at home. Could be Travis Kelce's last game in Kansas City.
That's what I was going to get at.
It looks like it will be, so I'd expect him to have a big game. The Broncos need to try to limit him, not let him beat the Broncos. That if I have to hear for a week that Travis Kelce beat the Broncos, and when they're showing the highlights throughout the week of him scoring a touchdown and then Taylor Swift losing her shit in the press box, then I'm done with this season. I don't care if the Broncos make the playoffs. I'm just done with football. For at least a good couple of months. I'm just going to check out because I can't put myself in a position where I could accept that.
Can you come back and still be like the producer, all the technical difficulties?
I'll set everything up and then I'm leaving because I don't even want to hear anything about football if that's the case. Seriously, I'll be so checked out and pissed off if that's the case. But I don't think it's going to be. The Broncos need to limit him. They don't really have much else going on offense. I think they sat most of their starters last week. So the offense is really struggling, especially with their third-string quarterback. Going to be a good chance for the Broncos to get right. And then on the offense, like to see the run game continue to get better. Ben Powers should play at full strength this week. Looks like he came back last week, but he was only playing 30 or 40% of the snaps. Kind of weird to rotate a guard in and out.
Yeah.
But that's what they did. Palczewski still got the start, and Powers was just rotating in and out. Now, the Broncos do have some pretty big injuries, which is concerning. Dre Greenlaw coming up with a hamstring at the end of the game last week.
Damn.
Obviously, Pat Bryant's not going to be playing with a concussion. Be okay without him for a week or two. Greenlaw's the most concerning one. But the good news is Stranad looks like he might be trending towards playing this week. So if Stranad wasn't going to play, then they were going to have to start someone from their practice squad there opposite of Singleton. Looks like Stranad's going to get in. Really hope to see Greenlaw just come back healthy for the playoffs at this point. So, missing Brandon Jones last week didn't look good either. PJ Locke played okay, but Brandon Jones is definitely a top-tier safety. So missing him is really tough.
My biggest thing that I'm going to be watching for this game is going to be the secondary for the Chiefs. See what they do to try to confuse, they know that they're going to have to be the game for the Chiefs. That defense, that's like the secondary is probably their best thing going for them right now. Even that defensive front, yeah, it's pretty good, but I think their secondary is a little bit better. And we'll see if Bo Nix can keep the scoring going, not last week, but the weeks before that he'd been trending upwards. So we'll see how he does against that defense, which is they've got some good corners over there. So we'll see, especially with no Pat Bryant. You don't have your second option there. If they're going to key in on Cortland Sutton, then
Court's definitely been Bo's guy the last couple of weeks, so he'll be zoning in on him for sure. But the good thing about the Broncos wide receiver and tight end room is they have guys that they could depend on throughout. Each week they could look at someone else. Whether it's Troy Franklin stepping over Marvin Mims or Evan Ingram having one of his games. Which, speaking of Evan Ingram, I wanted to get into this last episode, but I'm going to do it this year. Going into the season, I said Evan Ingram was going to have a huge season. He was going to be like the number one offensive weapon for the Broncos. You know what? I'm not coming off of that take. I think I'm convincing myself that Sean Payton is holding him tight to his chest for the playoffs, and Evan Ingram's going to come up huge in the playoffs.
You keep telling yourself
I know. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but I've convinced myself of this. Sean Payton convinced Evan Ingram that he's going to be a big part of the offense, and he's going to do it during the playoffs. And I'm continuously I'm trying to convince myself of this. Just so I could be right about one of my offseason takes. Because a lot of my offseason takes were not good. Except for that the Broncos are going to be pretty damn solid and they're going to win the AFC West. Looks that way. Please don't prove me wrong in the next couple of weeks, Broncos. But I definitely miss on Evan Ingram to this point. But again, I'm not admitting defeat because it's going to come up big in the playoffs. I'm calling it. I'm very confident about it. It's going to happen.
He just doesn't want to be wrong.
I just don't want to be wrong. I just don't want to be wrong. Also, wasn't wrong about Bo Nix. So you guys could suck a dick. I was right about a couple of things. Also thought the Raiders were going to be better, but they proved me wrong, and I'm not upset about it.
Oh, they proved me wrong too. Wait, actually, I was in the middle. I still had my doubts, but hey, they still proved me wrong on a lot of other shit.
So, I don't know. I haven't really come up with a hot take on this one, but let's come up with one off the top of the dome. Obviously, Pat Bryant's not going to be playing. Who's going to come up big?
RJ Harvey
side? It's going to be Evan Ingram. He's going to have a huge game.
Your running back's going to finally.
It's the battle of the tight ends. Evan Ingram's going to have a huge game. Travis Kelce's going to go out with a dud. His last game in Arrowhead. And let's say Evan Ingram over 80 yards and a touchdown. Travis Kelce under 30 yards, 2 receptions. And let's say a drop pass that leads to an interception.
Oh, damn.
Dang.
He's hating on Kelce the last time. The last time I might be able to hate on him, so.
Got to get it out.
Yep.
Got to get it out. And because fuck Travis Kelce. I'm sure he's a nice enough guy off the field, but he's killed my Broncos way too many times. And rooting against him in the playoffs every single season and just seeing him come up with huge play after huge play. I've had enough of it. Travis Kelce, good luck in your career after football. Wish you nothing but the best.
I don't think he needs luck.
But as a football player, fuck you. And I hope you have a bad game on Thursday and a terrible Christmas. So,
all right.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add to the Chiefs
Not much. I mean, it
Broncos
should
on
be
Christmas?
It should be
Yeah.
an easy win for Broncos. But I mean, Chiefs offense doesn't really have much.
I mean, Chiefs are out of the playoffs, so I'll be cheering for the Chiefs this game.
Doesn't that suck? Having to root for the
Yes.
Chiefs? Yeah.
Yes, it does. But if they do win, future looks bright for the Chargers. So
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll
Yeah.
talk about the Chargers next.
Yeah.
Before we do, shout out to anybody that's watching us on YouTube. Thank you for checking us out. Really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like and subscribe button, we're now up to 90 subscribers. So
almost up to 100.
almost up to 100. Maybe
We got till the end of the year before more. What, 2 more weeks? 2 more
2
weeks?
more weeks.
My wife said by the end of the year we got to get up to over 100, or else I don't get to come back. So I really like coming and hanging out and drinking beer. Please subscribe.
Yeah, maybe we have to put together like a giveaway or something to get to 100 subscribers. So
Maybe.
just so we can keep
Something.
the channel going.
My wife's probably not watching, so I'm probably gonna make some like fake accounts and just get us over 100.
Let's go.
Bots. Let's do it.
But again, thank you for checking us out. Really appreciate it. And follow us on Instagram as well, Third and Thirsty Podcast. So Chargers got a tough game. Texans.
Yeah. Possible not first round, but possible down the line playoff game. And last year's playoff game. And I'm not as confident. I'm not as confident this week as I have been in other weeks. Even though the Chargers played great last week and the Houston Texans struggled versus the Raiders, which doesn't
Surprising
well
for
them.
everybody.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think the Chargers, it's going to be really tough for their defense or for their offensive line, like it has been for the entire season. But what they did last week gave me some hope. I feel like Greg Roman finally is coming through with the times of not just running the ball, but hey, pass the ball, but we can still protect Justin Herbert. We don't have to have this super simple passing offense concepts that everybody does the same basic routes. Everybody turns and looks for the ball at the same time. So that means that if your first read isn't open, second read isn't open, by the time you get to your third read, he's already covered. You're getting sacked at that point, especially with this offensive line. But this past week, they got some quick passes going, the screen game going, a lot of motion before the snap. So I loved all those things from Greg Roman. Hopefully he keeps that type of play calling up. But I think this defense, honestly, I've been saying it the last couple of weeks. This is probably the best defense in the league right now.
Oh, it is.
The
Texans for sure.
Oh no, the Chargers.
No, the Texans.
No,
better
the
defense.
Chargers.
Oh, you mean you're talking about the Chargers?
The Chargers.
being against- Oh,
No, I take the Texans defense.
No, the Chargers.
I thought you were saying
I think the Texans have given up 20 points or more in I think 4 or 5 of the last games, 6, 7 games, something like that. 6, 7. And the Chargers have given up less than 20 points in all but one game, or 20 points or less. It doesn't matter who your opponents are. You can only play who's in front of you. But if that defense is playing like that, man, like I said against the Cowboys getting out of the teens, I feel very confident if the Chargers get out of the teens that this is a win for them. Because that offense for the Texans, they're not great. Their offensive line is better than the Chargers. Better than the Chargers. Yeah, better than the Chargers. You took the words right out of my mouth. Better than the Chargers, but they're not they're not even like middle of the pack offensive line. They're still towards the end of the NFL. They've lost. I think they traded away 3 of their tackles, so they're on tackles that they probably drafted this year, the year before, that probably maybe projects. There's a reason why they're not scoring a lot of points. There's a reason why some teams like the Raiders have gotten after the quarterback. Even if you did say that, he just had a bad game, CJ Stroud, there's a reason for it. the defense was after him.
Yeah,
He just doesn't sit there and make a bad throw just by sitting there. And he's still a really good quarterback. He's going to make those throws, but if you get some pressure on him, then he's bound to make some mistakes. And the Chargers have been taking away the ball at a very high rate the last couple of weeks. They've had multiple interceptions, multiple takeaways in every game, multiple sacks. The pass rush has really gotten after it. The pass rush in the last, I think since the bye, the pass rush when they have Odafe Owe, Tuli Tuipulotu, and Khalil Mack in the game, they're pressuring the quarterback at a 50% rate. That's crazy pressure rating right there. And it shows by the sack numbers. Always got 7 sacks, all with the Chargers since he's been traded. He had no sacks before he got here. Tuli's sack numbers have shot up in the last 5-6 weeks. And that's one of my hot bold takes before the season that Tuli was going to get 16 sacks.
Yeah.
He's at 13.
Yeah.
It's very gettable, and like I said, he gets them in bunches. So if he gets 2 sacks this week, he's right there, man.
I know you want to build the case that the Chargers defense is better than the Texans, but it just isn't. They've been playing really well. I'm not taking away from that, and they're top 5 defense. I could buy that, but the Texans are a better defense. When you look at just the roster, I mean, the Chargers don't have a Will Anderson or a Daniel Hunter. The pass rushers for the Texans are better. They don't have a Stingley, so their corners are better. Look, and you're going to be without Henley this week. So
Henley or Perryman?
Perryman, excuse me.
Yeah, without Perryman, yeah.
So, look, I'm not saying the Chargers have a bad defense. They have a very good defense. At this point, I think they're better than the Broncos because the Broncos' defense hasn't been playing well. So it's not to talk shit. I'm just being objective and saying, look, the Texans are a better defense. And I'm not alone in saying that, man. I think it's pretty clear at this point the Texans have the best defense in the league. And that's why they're definitely one of the teams that I don't want to see the Broncos play, even though they've beaten them. The Texas defense is for real, man. They could pressure you. They could cover. And, look, I'm not taking anything away from the Chargers. They have a good defense, but the Texans are better.
You say they don't have a Stingley. They got a Derwin James. You say they don't got a Daniil Hunter.
Well, those are different positions.
But still, it's secondary. Derwin James last year was...
Yeah, but you could put Stingley on a number 1 wide receiver and really help shut him down. Derwin James is great. I'm not saying Derwin James is great, but he's a safety, so
yeah,
it's not. You don't have that.
I know what position he plays.
Yeah, no, but you don't have the same effect as a shutdown corner. You don't.
Almost more of an effect because you're covering a tight end, you're covering the running back, you're covering the slot corner. He was a not a Pro Bowler, but a All Pro last year at slot corner.
Again, I'm not saying he's not a bad player, but if I want to line up a player against a number 1 receiver, like say in the AFC playoffs, the receivers in the AFC aren't really that strong this year, but if you want to take a number 1 receiver away, I'm taking Stingley over Derwin.
If you want to pick a player that's going to take over a game, I'm taking Derwin. He's taking over that game instead of just covering the one best guy on one side. Derwin's flying all over the field. He's up at the line. I know he's on the back.
You're a Chargers fan, so you don't know what it's like to have a shutdown corner, but it's really valuable.
Oh, I know what it's like. And we've had our share of them. Maybe not right now, but our defense doesn't need that right now. Our defense is...
Every defense could rely on...
Oh, yeah. Of course, every defense could use one. Every defense would be much better with one, but our defense doesn't rely on one, is what I'm saying. We don't... the defense for the Chargers, they mix it up like a good amount between man and zone defense to where they try to more confuse a quarterback instead of just, here, beat us. They're more of just like, all right, are we playing man or are we playing zone?
I think every NFL team does that. That's not unique to the Chargers.
I know. I know.
It's not unique to the Chargers, bro.
I know.
It's like DeMeco Ryans knows how to chart up a defense and confuse a quarterback.
Yeah, but there's also the blitz packages. You don't know at that point. You don't know who's coming.
Well, again, you can say that about any good defense in the NFL. I wouldn't say it about the Raiders, But I would say about the Broncos, the Texans, the Chargers.
Yeah, but not everybody has the scheme to be able to do
We
that.
did good against the Texans.
In the NFL, you have the best of the best scheming up these defenses. Again, it's not unique to try to confuse the quarterback.
But anyways, I'm gonna give my 2 points or 2 cents. I mean,
If you're a Raiders fan, it doesn't matter.
you don't want.
Doesn't matter what
You're over here thinking that you Chargers have the best defense when clearly stats talk that the freaking
Exactly.
Texans have the best defense.
Yeah, look at
Stats
the
talk, exactly.
Look at their stats.
Okay, look at all season. Texans are still leading in the defense.
Yeah.
Personally, I would be honest with you. I still, like he said, I do see the Chargers being a good defense, but you're getting yourself a little too ahead of yourself. You guys beat the Chargers, the Cowboys, which was the worst defense. Yes, Raiders lost to them. If you're gonna throw that in my face, yes, we lost.
But
to
the
them.
best offense.
But
One of the
one of the best
Not
offenses.
lately.
The thing is about the thing about them is that they were getting so far behind, they were starting to throw it, and you guys were just attacking fucking Dak after that. The thing is that you guys are playing CJ Stroud now, which it's basically Herbert's going to get pressured. He's going to get sacked. He's going to get a lot more pressure than he did last week versus the Cowboys. And no, the Texans aren't the best offense out there yet, or out there at all. But they do have weapons like Nico Collins that can, turn the field at any moment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know.
Jordan, I forgot his first name, but that running back Jordan was running really solid. He's healthy. He's strong. I know your defense is solid right now, but I mean, if this defense is on the field too long, it could break at any moment. So it's going to be a very tight game, just because your guys' offense is going to go up to against a really solid defense. But I personally think that I can actually see the Texans actually moving the ball a lot more than the Cowboys did, and I can honestly see the defense slowing down Herbert a lot more than the last couple teams have done. So it's going to be definitely a bigger test.
More than even like the Eagles.
Dude,
because the Eagles, we talked about it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. That was a good win for you guys because, 4 interceptions, that's not something that you can ignore. But the Eagles have been, having a really bad season this season. I mean, yeah, they've got some wins in late, but a lot of those wins were very close, and it's not really the same team it was last year.
But we still all agree that it's a really good team.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And like I said earlier, that was a good game. You can't shake a stick at it. But, Broncos also beat them. A lot of good teams. They lost to a lot of good teams and beat a lot of teams they should have beat. You know what I mean? So, for me, that's why I'm saying, yeah, your defense was playing against a lot of solid teams, like the Eagles, for example. But the Eagles have been struggling a lot against good teams like the Broncos. They lost to the Cowboys, and you guys just beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nothing is ever you can't really So at the end of the day, I can see this defense being really solid against CJ Stroud, but that Texans defense versus you guys, it's not going to be like it was against the Cowboys. So yeah, your offense looks solid against the Cowboys, but I just don't see it with the Texans. They have a lot of pressure. Guys can get to the quarterback. Herbert's going to be running like he was before. But if your offensive coordinator can scheme up something, quick passes, running the ball, and if Omarion Hampton gets loose, kind of like Ashton Jeanty did, so be it. But I will say that 50-yarder that Ashton Jeanty took off, he was only gaining 2 yards a carry. He wasn't even getting that much. It was just the fact that he was able to get away with it. But yeah, so
I get you. I just feel like the Chargers are a little bit more of a complete team.
Oh, they
offensively and defensively put together. Both sides put together. I feel like they're just slightly ahead of them. Everything put together.
Your guys' offense, I can see being a lot better than they are, regardless of the online health. But I just think that defense just gives them a little slight edge. Just because your guys' offensive line is struggling.
Well, so is theirs, Like I said, their offensive line isn't that much better.
Because we didn't, like I said, it's going to be a lot different with you guys. You guys have Tui Pelotu and Khalil Mack. Hey, I actually got his name.
Odafe Owe.
Yeah, that guy too.
That's
But
7 sacks since like week 6.
you know, we didn't get no sacks against them, so maybe you guys get a sack against them. But I mean, we still like we were controlling the run kind of. But I still think CJ Stroud just had a bad game versus us because if you really look at the stats, it wasn't nothing too exciting.
No. Is there anything else we want to add to the Chargers Texans game? I think it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to Saturday. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, my bold take.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Bold take is that Thule's gonna get after.
Or just 2.
Yeah, I was gonna go with 2 to give him a chance to get to 16, but yeah, I feel like he's gonna get 2 sacks. One of them's gonna be a strip sack.
Dang.
And that's gonna set up the Chargers for a score. So 2 sacks, one of them being a strip sack.
Pretty bold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like you said, Texas offensive line hasn't been fantastic this season, so I guess the opportunities will be there. But Texas is going to have it on the opposite side too, man.
The Chargers do have somebody that was on the Texans that they traded for right before the season started. So, hey, little inside knowledge, couple of tendencies by some players. It's, every little bit counts.
We'll see.
You know,
Definitely, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd chalk too much up to that, but okay.
If they win, he's going to get the IPA next week.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Raiders and the Giants. The Tank Bowl that you'll actually be there for.
Yeah, I'm actually luckily only for people who don't know, my little brother's a Giants fan. It was after the 2 Super Bowls, so can't really say it was after 1 Super Bowl, so I'll give him that.
Bandwagoner.
But still, anyways, I mean, he's still a Giants fan, even though they're going through their worst. But anyways, yeah, I'm excited. We're leaving Friday, being there till Monday. Gonna end up being there. I'm gonna go early, go tailgate, man. I can't wait for that. It is a Tank Bowl. I'm hoping for a loss. I'm not gonna lie to you, anybody.
So you're gonna be in the stadium rooting against your team?
I'm gonna be in the stadium drunk as hell, just enjoying the game.
You and your brother should just switch jerseys. Like, we're cheering for the other team.
Just heckling Gino from your seat.
Hey, he did say blame it on Gino, so I'm just saying what he told me. But anyways, yeah, honestly, I still don't think, even though we had a really solid game against the Texans, or not really solid, but like we saw a lot of upside. I still think that this game's gonna be a loss. I just think that front 7 of the Giants is pretty solid. It's very solid compared to our struggling offensive line. I think Jordan Meredith did come back. Colton Miller's supposed to come back. I don't understand why they would bring him back, but I guess they want to see this offensive line struggle again. I don't know. But I mean, they did really good against the number 1 defensive line or defense. So maybe we'd see some upside with Janty. My bold take, I'm going to say right now, I do kind of see the Raiders winning this game, which unfortunately kind of bums me out. But in the same time, it's kind of like, it's bittersweet. I'll just say that. Like, I always want the Raiders to win, but unfortunately right now, I'm not in that position. But I honestly do see us winning the game. I see the Giants just doing what Giants do and just messing themselves up and giving the Raiders an opportunity to win.
Question. Are you happy? Do you cheer when the Raiders win this week?
Yes, I will cheer, but at the same time, I'll be like, fuck.
God damn it.
Yes. Fuck. Yes.
You gotta think big picture, man. You gotta think big picture, bro. Like if they don't get the 1 seed and say the Giants end up with the 1 seed, someone's gonna trade with the Giants because the Giants are probably gonna stick.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Yeah, that's definitely like I mean, I actually heard 2 scenarios with that, which I highly doubt's gonna happen. But whoever ends up being coach did say they may trade Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I heard that.
And then, but I don't think so. Jackson Dart is a solid quarterback. Him and Scatterboo have a solid chemistry. Why ruin that? But you never know. They might trade it to the Jets. Jets are looking for a quarterback. I don't know. At the end of the day, it's really going to come down to, I mean, if we win, we win, unfortunately. We end up moving down to the 6th or down to the 3rd or 4th, whatever it is. I'm pretty sure whoever's our head coach will decide what goes down that way. But realistically, we should lose this. But my bold take, I wouldn't be surprised the one time I'm actually telling them to do something, they do the complete opposite, and they would fucking win this game. Especially because we're in a big losing streak. I think 11 or 12 now. So they don't want to have this long losing streak. So I wouldn't be surprised they just turn on their brains and be like, oh, we can play football today.
Oh, it's Sunday. We play today.
Yeah, I guess I'll be rooting for the Raiders because I don't want them to end up with the number 1 pick. I don't want them to have that power. So
yeah,
go Raiders. I hate saying that, but go Raiders.
I'm gonna tell Gigi to say that again.
No, don't do that. You guys want to make some picks, or do you guys want to talk a little bit about teams we want to see in the playoffs if our teams don't win or lose the Super Bowl? Let's get into that a little
fucked
bit.
Either way, so
Let's get into that real quick because we've covered a little bit of time here, but we wanted to talk a little bit about today. If our teams, obviously the Chargers and the Broncos, because the Raiders are already out and they'll be out every season next couple.
Just missed it.
But if our team does not win the Super Bowl this year, who would be okay seeing win the Super Bowl, and who do we want to see the least win a Super Bowl? So, Omar, if you had to pick, the Chargers don't win the Super Bowl this year, but this team does, who are you okay with? At the end of the day, you're not too upset.
Definitely have to go NFC.
Yeah.
Just because if I want NFC, then I feel like I'm just rooting against the Chargers. But NFC, I don't know why, but even though I'm not the biggest Caleb Williams fan, he's fine. He's whatever. But the Bears, I don't know why. Just the Bears. Because I want to say duh Bears, maybe.
That's it. That's why.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have there's people like, oh, I have a favorite NFC team. I don't have a favorite NFC team. I don't know why. It's the Bears, just the first team to come to mind. I didn't really think about it. That we talked about it earlier that we might do this, and I tried to think, but it just kind of went away. And now I'm just off the top of my head, the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears definitely wouldn't be one of mine.
Colson Love is cool.
Because of Caleb Williams. I don't like Caleb Williams. I think I've made that pretty clear. And I hate that I'm going to have to get pretty close to admitting that I was wrong about him being a bust.
Such a good throw the other
Because
day.
he's playing pretty damn well. And things are clicking with him and Ben Johnson. So wouldn't want the Bears to win just because I'd have to admit that I was wrong about Caleb Williams. I guess from the NFC, I wouldn't mind the Niners.
I would.
Not a Niners fan.
I can understand that.
I would.
I've never hated the Niners. They'd be winning at home. The Niners have a lot of Bronco influence with Shanahan and Lynch, a couple of Bronco guys. So wouldn't be the worst thing ever, I guess, as a Bronco fan seeing the Niners win. The AFC though, I think that's more of an interesting conversation because these are teams that we kind of have to hate most of the part. So AFC team, you wouldn't mind seeing win the Super Bowl this year.
The Vikings.
The Vikings?
AFC team food.
AFC. God, I don't know why I'm thinking.
And let's also stick with teams that are in the fucking playoff race.
Okay. Oh. No.
The Dodgers.
I mean, they could win.
I'll just give you mine real quick.
Go for it.
My team.
Well, Omar tries to remember what teams are in the AFC.
So NFC, just real quick, I'm gonna go throw the Lions. I think Lions have gone through a lot of crap. I think they're fucking solid right now, so I wouldn't mind the Lions winning. But for AFC, I'm gonna go with the team that I was hoping last year's to knock off the dang Chiefs.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be the Bills.
Okay, yeah,
they've gone through a lot. Where the point they haven't won anything, so at that point,
I don't want it to be the Bills.
Oh,
I don't want to be the only ones that we don't have shit.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind the Bills because I mean,
Jaguars. They don't have shit either.
Yeah.
But for me, the
I don't like
Jaguars
the
just because my cousin's a Jaguar fan, which is very surprising. But hey, I would want to hear him talking all the time.
NFC team, I like Sam Darnold, so the Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Just because I like Sam Darnold. His
But you
story,
still haven't picked an
everything.
AFC
Yeah.
team.
He's still trying to think.
NFC.
AFC.
Yeah.
Flip over to the AFC. You want me to go first?
Yeah,
You
go
can
for it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it because he's still
Okay.
thinking. He forgot.
I mean, you kind of stole mine there, Edgar. The Bills.
Oh,
I don't mind Josh Allen. Respect the hell out of him. He's a great player. So seeing him get one, wouldn't be super upset about. Also the Texans. There's no one on the Texans I dislike. They're
I hate
good.
Houston.
Well, they're a good solid team, man. Defense is the best in the league, regardless of what Omar thinks. Who also just said that the Vikings are in the playoff race and in the AFC. So
NFC, whatever.
yeah,
No, AFC, the Colts.
just
The Colts,
because
they're not.
all
Yeah,
right.
Philip Rivers.
And
he wants Philip Rivers to finally get a Super Bowl.
Rivers. Nah. I would no. I'm just I like
They're
Phillip Rivers.
they're
He's-
essentially out of the playoff
Yeah.
race now that they just lost. So
but they
stick to the playoff teams. The
Oh,
Colts are
they're
not
actually they're
essentially
going to be
out.
getting out.
yeah they're gonna be out.
So
If they get out, who sneaks in?
well, the teams are pretty much set. It's the Broncos, Patriots, Jags, Steelers, Chargers, Bills, Texans.
Oh, I thought they were in.
No, the Colts are out.
Okay.
The Texans, I guess. Like I said, I don't want the
Depending
the Bills.
on how Sunday goes or Saturday goes.
Yeah, I don't want the Bills. I like that the Bills are like deeper in the dungeon than the Chargers. They made it 3 times and didn't win. The Chargers only made it once.
four times.
Four
actually.
times, whatever.
In a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they made it that many times in a row and they lost every single time. The Chargers only made it once. At least it's like they only lost one time.
Okay, so Texans, I guess.
I guess by default.
Bills and Texans. No, we don't want to see this because the Steelers.
Yeah, we don't want them to keep fucking saying that, oh, we have more rings than everybody else.
I guess it'd be Aaron Rodgers too.
Yeah.
Don't want to see Aaron Rodgers win another Super Bowl.
I don't want to hear my cousins talk all their shit again.
Oh, that's true. You got that.
Yeah.
too. The
And they're
Patriots,
like,
I'd hate to see it too,
that's what I'm saying. The Patriots were like, no, not at all.
because you don't want Patriot fans getting all cocky saying they're starting a new dynasty, which I think they'd be right if the Patriots won the Super Bowl this year.
It's just I still think that team is still too young. Solid team, just still too young.
Yeah, definitely. And like we said, they benefited from a 4th place schedule, easiest schedule in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Things might change next year. Might. Or they will prove us wrong.
Well, next year I think they'll be really good. So teams we don't want to see, I guess we just kind of laid out: Patriots and the Steelers. I obviously don't want to see the Jags either because fuck them. And then
Yeah, I don't like the Jags.
we don't have to go without saying you don't want the Broncos to win. I don't want the Chargers to win. So
I think you don't want the Broncos to win more than the Chargers to win more than I don't want the Broncos.
You know, low key, I don't want the Eagles to win either.
Because then
Just say
you guys,
Eagles
then
team.
you guys, the only thing you guys ever say is, "Oh, the Chargers don't have a championship." That'll go out the window.
that's true. I don't want that to ever happen.
That's what I'm saying.
I
I think
the whole Chargering thing would be be dead too.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That would go out the window.
And the Broncos have won 3, and they're a better team than the Chargers. So.
And as bad as we are, we still have 3.
Right. It's been a long time, dude.
Gotta dust those things off.
I've witnessed
And
all 3 of
At
them.
least we're dusting something off, not just hoping we had something. There.
That's true.
Just an empty spot right there.
We're dusting. We're dusting where we're gonna put ours. Gosh,
Well, you're getting a little ahead of yourself.
I didn't say what year. It's like 1 year. There's a spot for it. They keep dusting it.
Let's get into the picks. We'll do the Broncos and the Chiefs first since that's the first one on the schedule. I think this one's it's not going to be an easy game because it's a short week. And again, the Chiefs have that advantage of being able to just go for a 4th down and just kind of play with nothing to lose. So I think the key to the game for the Broncos is to kind of crush their spirits early. I played football for Cabrillo, a small high school team here, who always got their ass kicked by our rival, Lompoc. And, the one time when I played in that game, we go in and we're like, we're going to win this game. We're going to have a chance. Let's do this. And then they got up like 21-0 and halftime came and it was like, all right, let's just get the hell out of here. The Broncos need to do the same thing. They need to step on the Chiefs' throats early so they don't get that confidence in the second half that they could keep things going. So if the Broncos could go into halftime with a lead, go into the third quarter, score another touchdown, just put the game over early, I think the Broncos win 24-13. Defense steps up and plays a little bit better.
Nigger?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I think Andy Reid's gonna have the offense, moving a little bit better. They were sort of far. They're already behind like crazy when that. I think the rookie, right? The rookies that went in. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna make him an easy play call. So I can see him scoring like 13, 14. So I'm gonna go. Obviously Denver winning. I'm gonna go 30-14. I think they're gonna. I think your running game starts going. RJ Harvey's gonna start getting going. I think Bo's not gonna have to throw the ball as much, and it's gonna be almost like a walkthrough, kind of like the Raiders, but more running game.
Okay, yeah, I like that even better. Broncos scored 30 points. I'm happy with that. Omar?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be much of a game. Maybe for a half they'll keep it close, but out of the half the Broncos will pull away. I don't know if I had to put a number to it. 17-25.
Okay.
17-27, just because they pull away a little bit more.
Okay.
Chiefs are definitely staying in the teens.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope the Broncos can kind of get right here and get their defense back on track against a really poor offense. But again, I mean, the Chiefs got nothing to lose. They're going to be throwing some weird shit against the wall. So we'll see how things go. Broncos need to get off the field on third down. So let's get into the next game. This is definitely the marquee game in the AFC West this year or this week, which again, never would have believed at the beginning of the season. Thought for sure it would be the Broncos Chiefs on Christmas. But the Texans and the Chargers Saturday. Omar, is this the week? It's definitely not the week. You're not picking against the Chargers. Go ahead.
Definitely not the week. Definitely not the week. No,
17 games in a row. Omar picked the Chargers to win.
And I've been right 11 times. But the Chargers, I think that their defense is gonna just kind of follow what the Raiders did last week. They really got after CJ Stroud. That offensive line we already said is not great. And I think our offense is just a little bit better than theirs. So I think it's still not going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to go with 24-21 Chargers.
Well, that's higher scoring than I think. I've been saying the last couple of weeks.
I feel like the defense is going to get, on both sides, is going to get after
it.
Maybe not a score, but get the
Put
offensive position to score. That's why I think it's going to be 20. In the 20, low 20s.
Okay, I get that. I've been saying the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to stick with it. I guarantee the Texans win this game. I'm going to stick with that guarantee. I think the Texas defense is the best in the league.
If he doesn't.
Yeah, no, Week 18 is not going to be fun for me if things don't go my way. So Texans, please win this game. But I've been saying for weeks, I feel really confident. The Texas defense going to be able to get to Herbert. They're going to hopefully again, fingers crossed, knock on wood. I hope Herbert gets out of this game healthy because I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But if there's a chance in a game for it to happen, it's going to be this one. The Texans defense is disgusting. They could really rush the quarterback. With that offensive line the Chargers are rolling out there at this point, it could get ugly. I don't think a lot of points are going to be scored in this game either way because the Chargers do have a good defense. It's not the best in the league. You're absolutely tripping. You're out of your mind if you think that. But let's go 16-15. It's a nail-biter. Texas win this game, but I guarantee it. Texas win.
Yeah, I'm going to go Texans as well just because I think that defense is going to be pretty solid versus Herbert. I feel like that line's going to be able to contain him. Sure, he'll be able to run out and I'll say bust out, but pause.
Got to hit on a pause before we get out of here, but go ahead.
But anyways, yeah, but I can see him getting out and running on a couple plays. But yeah, this defense is going to be a big task for your guys' receivers with Singleton. It's going to be a big task for
Singleton.
Or Singletary, sorry. It's going to be a big test even for your guys' tight end. What's his name?
Gadsden,
yeah. So he's going to have to really step up since your receivers are going to have trouble. But Yeah, this defense, I can't get away from it. Sure, you guys can copy what we did. I honestly still think that the Texans were caught off guard with the Raiders, especially with Genty. I just saw a video of one of the defenders giving him a lot of praise. But I mean, Omar Hampton is the same player as him. I can see him like they have strong runners, fast and open field. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys can do what we did, but I don't know. I think they're gonna be more aware and everything. Score is gonna be 19-17.
No low scoring game.
This bodes well for the Chargers. Every time you guys have both picked against the Chargers, I think they've won.
All I know is if you're in the finals in your fantasy, you better get one of these kickers because these guys are gonna have a game.
That's true.
Yep.
No, it's gonna be
Dicker's been awesome.
Yeah. It's gonna be a defensive game for sure. Okay, so we got two of us picking the Texans over the Chargers.
But
Of course,
low scoring games.
Yeah, of course, Omar still has to pick against his Chargers. Ultimate homer. But speaking of pause, and like the biggest pause ever goes to Sean Payton. Did you guys see what he said after the game?
No.
All right, so
I did see something about it, but I didn't actually hear it.
I had to make sure that it wasn't a fake quote. This is what he said about the loss. You can't just spit this one out. You got to swallow it. Shout out to Sean Payton for the biggest pause of the entire season, bro. I don't think there's a bigger pause ever. You got to spit it out. You can't swallow it. Or you can't excuse me. You can't spit it out. You got to swallow it. Excuse me. I screwed up the quote. You can't spit it out. You got to swallow it.
Yeah,
So,
man. If you're going to quote him, say right.
I had trouble reading.
Swallow.
You can't
swallow that loss.
You can't spit it out. You got to swallow it.
Come on, Alex, swallow.
Damn it. I should have swallowed that one.
Maybe gargle before?
Let's get into the Raiders and the Giants to take up the
For some reason, I have a feeling that you guys are going to be
hit me with
for
that
the first in this whole year going to be
Lizards,
picking the
please.
Raiders.
Lizards. Oh, big boys. Nice.
All right, Edgar. Raiders,
Honestly-
Giants. Take
Honestly, I hope and I can see it's not really high scoring game, but I can see a couple scores. I think Ashton Genty's gonna have another good game. I can see him scoring at least a rushing touchdown, and maybe catching a couple, having a couple catches. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 24-20 and Giants win with the last minute touchdown.
I have a weird feeling that this game's going to be entertaining too, and it's just going to be like a high scoring. Whoever has the ball at the end of the game is going to ruin their future by winning the game. So it's going to be like 34-33. Let's go Raiders because this just seems like the most Raider thing ever to do. Is to go out there, battle, and then give up the number one seed.
Yeah,
And have to
honestly,
stick with Gino again next year.
Listen,
Without Mendoza. So let's go Raiders. Let's win this game 34-33. They show up, they play clutch, and fuck up their future.
at least I get to rub it in Chubb's face.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be worth it, man.
Yeah, I feel like the Raiders, or not the Raiders, but Pete Carroll is going to want to
Try to save his job.
yes, try to save his job. And if not, at the end of the day, know he's going to get fired and
He's
want to
gonna
stick it to the Raiders.
Pull a Lovie Smith
Yes.
I can see
And
that.
I feel
Or
like,
Antonio Pierce.
or Antonio Pierce.
so I feel like that he's just going to give it his all, pull out all the stops. Fucking, there might be a trick play, something to come out of it to try to win the game. Maybe not the trick play that wins the game, but to put them ahead. Yeah, I think it's going to be 27-24 Raiders.
No wonder tomorrow's
Let's go.
raining. You guys are going for the freaking Raiders.
Let's go Raiders.
I think I don't know why. I think he knows he's going to get fired.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to want to stick it
No,
to them.
trust me, you're not the only one that's been thinking that. And that's why I told you in my bold take, I wouldn't be surprised Raiders actually win this game. Just because they're on a big losing streak, Pete Carroll's trying to prove something that he's clearly it's too late now.
It's gonna be his last season, and he's just gonna say, "Fuck it,
Fuck it."
Let's
fuck
go
the
out with
Raiders."
go out with a bang with a win against the Giants.
I mean, if he does, I want to see the picture of him just fucking off, like walking out of the organization, just flicking them off. Ha! That's what you guys get, and guess what they get?
Looking at that committee that hired him.
Yeah, that's what they get.
Well, it's going to be a fun week. Starting with the Broncos and the Chiefs on Christmas. Big game on Saturday with the Chargers and the Texans.
No, I'm glad I'm glad it's like different days. So now, it's like, you know, we have days to look for. It's not just a Saturday. We're like, now what?
Sunday.
There's no fight night.
Yeah.
We got some football.
Oh yeah, it's a full week of AFC West football.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'm back on the podcast next week. We'll see. I'm not 100% guaranteeing it. Well, I am, because I said I guarantee that the Texans are going to win this game. So go Texans, go Broncos, go Raiders. Anything else you guys want to add?
Go Chargers.
All right. Well, 46 days until Bo Nix wins his first Super Bowl. Cheers.
Not.